Guys, I'm waiting for others to join, so we'll start it in 2 minutes at 16:05 sharp. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, please let me know. We'll wait for a minute or so, guys, and then we'll start. Meanwhile, please let me know if you have any questions. Yes, if we stop a VM, NTV will not be charged, but yes, because we are using a storage account on that VM, every virtual machine or every machine requires at least a disk, right, to uh, secure the operating system or some data. So we'll be charged for that disk.
Okay, so when we restart, it will start charging. Till then, it will stop charging for the VM.
Right, but it will keep charging you for the storage. And not sure what do you exactly mean by event?
No, VNET actually.
Oh,
They just
VNET.
typing
It's a
mistake.
typo.
Yeah.
Okay. No, actually there is no charges for the VNET. VNET is nothing. It's we'll read about VNET today, so that's okay. But there are no charges
Okay,
for VNET.
but it will keep on charging if we keep the public IP. Like I tried stopping it, so it asked me if you want to keep the public IP address. So if I keep it, then it will charge me for the IP, right?
Yes, public IP is chargeable thing.
Okay, okay.
Okay, guys, let's start. I think we should start. We have waited enough. So we discussed. Let me share my screen first. I hope you guys can see my screen.
Yes.
Okay. So we discussed networking. We discussed IP addresses. We discussed classes. I hope everything is clear to you guys as of now. If not, please do ask me questions if you have. Because the next topic, today's topic, which we are about to start, it is related to Azure now, and we are about to start Azure specific topics And if you don't understand basics, you will not understand this. And if you don't understand this, you will not understand anything uh, which are based on this, topics which are based on this. So is it clear to you guys? IP, classes of IPs, range of IP, is it clear to you guys? Do you have any questions, any
Yes.
doubts? Akib, Irfan, Juhi, Miranda, Sumaya, Vishal, Yogesh.
So,
So it's clear, right?
Yes, yes, it's clear.
Okay. So today we will talk about VNet, subnets, CIDR. I shared a link with you guys. Did anyone bother to read about it? CIDR का एक link share किया था मैंने. Did anyone read it?
Yes, I did.
Okay. So we'll discuss CIDR today, and we'll see how to design a network. Then we'll see subnet mask. Yes.
Also, I think I'm not added in that group forward because I don't know where you share this. I don't get anything actually.
WhatsApp group. Are you a part of that
Okay.
WhatsApp group?
I think I'm not.
Okay, I'll send it again. That's okay.
Okay. Yes, yes.
I'll add your number. I think I don't have. So Sonam will have the link for this. You can
Yeah,
take it from her. Yes,
sure,
yes,
sure.
I'll
Yeah,
share that
yeah.
again. Okay, guys. So let's start with this. Why do we require a VNet, or what do you exactly understand by VNet? So let's start with that. I am just taking it slow. I was hoping for some other people to join because it's important topic and I do not want them to miss this. Let me ping them and let's see if they are joining. Okay, guys, so we were talking about VNet. So why do we require a VNet, or what do we understand by a VNet? A VNet, it is a Azure specific word or a jargon. Now we have started Azure specific things. इसके पहले जितना हम लोग पढ़ते आए थे नेटवर्किंग के बारे में जो भी हम लोगों ने पढ़ा, that wasn't Azure specific. IP range, that is not Azure specific. Class A, Class B, Class C, Class D, and E, those are not Azure specific. I mean, you'd use them in Azure, you use them in AWS, GCP, or forget cloud, you use them in on-premises infrastructure. IP range वही रहने वाली है, classes वही रहेंगे. उनका जो range है, जो start होता है 10 का range है, जो class A का, class B का जो range है, class C का range है, they are not going to change. So those are not Azure specific. I hope you understand when I say what is Azure specific, right? So now we are about to start discussion Azure specific things. So let's discuss a VNet. What is a VNet? A VNet is a virtual network. Now, what is a virtual network? We read network. What is a network? We did discuss, right? What is a network? Who could explain quickly what is a network?
a group of computers connected to each other, maybe through wire or wireless.
Right, could be wired, could be wireless, anything, but a network where not only computers but multiple devices, printers, scanners, shared folders, anything and everything which are which needs to be connected will have to keep them in a network. Okay, so they could be connected via wire. Ultimately wires are there. Even if it is a Wi-Fi net, sorry, even if it is a Wi-Fi network, that is Wi-Fi at your local level, but when it goes out, wires are there, right? So that is a network where we connect multiple devices. So that is a network. But what is a virtual network? Now a virtual network is nothing. It's the same thing which is representing on your Azure. Like we have a tenant. What is a tenant? We discussed what is a tenant. A tenant is your company's presence on Azure. Because if we start discussing, let's say this is Azure, ये Azure का पूरा cloud है, right? This is Azure's cloud. Now, not can everyone come here and start deploying virtual machine? यहाँ पर let's say ICE की एक virtual machine है, one has IBM's virtual machine, CompuCom's virtual machine. कोई भी सब एक नेटवर्क में रखेंगे, इज इट पॉसिबल? सबका डेटा शेयर हो जाएगा, there will be no security, so this is not possible. So to avoid that, what they have done, they have divided कि यार आप अपने cloud पे अपना अपना virtual space ले लो. That is what we called tenant. Tenant का क्या मतलब हुआ? That I have taken this space as a company Tsoft solution. So this is my space. Tsoft solution, this is my space on cloud. This is my virtual boundary. No one can come here unless I create a user. And where can I create a user? Which option would we use if I have to create one user here?
Azure Active Directory.
Azure Active Directory, correct. So this is my tenant, this is my virtual space in Azure. So this is one company. We could have multiple n number. We don't even know how many companies are there with Azure. We don't even have to know that. Okay, so this is called tenant, or this is called Azure Active Directory. Like Tsoft is there. We could have ICE, we could have Compicom, we could have TCS, and anything. N number of companies we could have here. We don't even need to know कितने हैं वहां पर, कौन सा है. We don't even need to know that. ठीक है. So this is called your tenant. But ये तो क्या हुआ आपका, सिर्फ एक virtual boundary हुई computers की. Now you required another boundary of network. So that network boundary, that is called a virtual network. Like we have a network in our offices, same thing we will have here, but that will be called virtual network. Why? Because it is virtually, though wires are there. Understand guys, whenever I say a virtual machine, a virtual computer, and it's not only me, कोई भी बोलता है virtual computer या virtual network, understand at the end of it कहीं ना कहीं कोई hardware पड़ा हुआ है. Virtual cloud is nothing but someone else's computer. So ultimately कहीं ना कहीं कोई hardware है. Using that we are able to do this all networking and all virtual machines. So when I say virtual network, मतलब हम Azure की जो already wiring है, networking बनी हुई है, उसमें हम virtual divide कर रहे हैं. So that is what a virtual network is, a VNet. So a VNet might look like this. किसी भी तरह से आप अपने tenant के अंदर either you could have one virtual network, ये पूरे company के लिए मैं एक virtual network create कर सकता हूँ, ठीक है, or I could have multiple virtual networks. I could have multiple virtual networks. So if you guys remember, the first thing we created, let's say this is our Azure Cloud. This is my one company. This is my company. This we were representing as Azure Active Directory. This is my tenant. Okay. In our case, we have taken Tsoft. Okay. This is my tenant. इसके अंडर क्या था? Which layer did we discuss? Post tenant, which layer will come?
Subscription layer.
Subscription, exactly. So either we could have multiple subscriptions, or we could have single subscription in one tenant. Okay, which layer do we have under subscription?
Resource group.
Resource groups, exactly. So we could have multiple resource groups, or we could have one resource group. We could have multiple resource groups also. And इसी के base पे we did discuss IAM. Whoever missed those sessions, please watch those recordings once, and if you have any questions, do let me know. I'll clear them. और इसके अंदर है हमारे resources. And then when I say resource, it could be a virtual machine, it could be a shared folder, it could be a printer, it could be a scanner, it could be anything. So these are resources. This is Azure Active Directory, a subscription or subscriptions, resource group or resource groups, and resources. Okay. So virtual network is सब में कहाँ पर आएगा, right? So a virtual network, we could have a single virtual network and we could use it multiple times, and we could have multiple virtual networks also. So this will represent our virtual network, though this is not the exact sign, but as of now I don't have anything matching, कुछ मिल नहीं रहा, so let's take this one. हम उसके exact signs को देखेंगे when I start using Vigio. I'm not using that as of now. That might confuse you guys. So under resource group, I could have one virtual network. यहाँ पर एक virtual network रख सकता हूँ मैं, यहाँ पर एक virtual network रख सकता हूँ. I could use same virtual network also here. ठीक है. Here as in दो रिसोर्स ग्रुप के बीच में. If I have a virtual network in this subscription, I cannot use that virtual network in this subscription. Understand this. I could have one virtual network here जो इसमें मैं ये कर सकता हूँ, commonly share कर सकता हूँ. I could have this, but एक virtual network जो एक subscription में है, it cannot be used in another subscription. Also, one virtual network which is in one region, it cannot be used in another region. Now, what is region? We will discuss that. Once we are done with our virtual network topic, we'll start discussing regions and geography. उस topic पे हम इसके बाद आने वाले हैं. But just to understand and remember, और इसको मैं एक एनालॉजी से आप लोगों को समझाऊं तो virtual network is your organization, I could say. And then we have one more term, subnet. Subnet is your department. So let's say if I erase this, it's okay if you did understand this, that's fine. इसको multiple times अब हम लोग discuss करने वाले हैं. Let's say this is my Azure Active Directory or tenant. I hope this is very clear to you guys as of now कि Azure Active Directory and tenant दोनों एक ही चीज है, right? So let's say this is my Azure Active Directory here. And then I have my subscription, single subscription. अब मैं single ले रहा हूँ, so you could understand it well. Okay, and in this I could have my resource groups and my resources. So I could say my virtual network is my company or my organization. It is representing my organization.
So here,
Yes.
one question.
Yes.
So virtual machine. How is it connected to virtual machine, virtual network?
We'll come to that. Virtual machine is a resource. Virtual network is also a resource. Virtual machine is also a resource. But to create one virtual machine, we will require a network. We'll come to that. Don't worry. That this will be answered.
Okay.
As of now, let's just focus only on virtual network. Once it is created, then we'll come to know why are we creating this virtual network का requirement क्या है, and it will be done in today's session itself. वो पूरा interlinked है, आज ही हो जाएगा वो, don't worry. So this is my subscription. Under this, we'll have resource groups or resource group. As of now, I'm just taking one resource group to avoid confusion. So virtual network, when I say a virtual network will represent my organization and a subnet, and virtual network को we will call VNet. इसके आगे हम इसको VNet बोलेंगे. It is also known as VNet in Azure. VNet ही उसको ज़्यादा बोला जाता है. So VNet is nothing but a short form of virtual network. VNet, V for virtual, net for network. So I'll be calling it VNet as of now. So VNet is representing your organization. VNet is representing your organization. And then we have a term called subnet. Subnet is representing your departments in your organization. So what kind of departments we could have? We could have HR, admin, IT. Now, if you guys remember, we did discuss this already. कहाँ पर discuss किया था हम लोगों ने? When we were discussing IP classes. Do you guys remember that I discussed क्या IP classes क्यों है हम लोगों के पास? Why are we segregating them? एक ही IP में क्यों नहीं रख रहे? Why aren't we making our whole network in one class? Class A में सब कुछ क्यों नहीं बना रहे हम लोग? So why do we require that? अलग अलग लेवल के एक्सेस देने के लिए. लेट्स से एचआर को मुझको एक्सेस देना है नौकरी पोर्टल का, बाकी एडमिन डिपार्टमेंट को नहीं देना है, आईटी को यूट्यूब का एक्सेस देना है, किसी को नहीं देना है. सो दैट इज इजियर व्हेन वी डू इट ऑन अ नेटवर्क लेवल. इसलिए हम लोगों को सेग्रीगेशन चाहिए. फॉर दैट वी हैव नेटवर्क्स, एंड नेटवर्क में एक और सेग्रीगेशन है, सबनेट. इज इट क्लियर टिल नाउ? इसमें कुछ भी टेक्निकल नहीं है. एज ऑफ नाउ जस्ट आई एम एक्सप्लेनिंग एनालॉजीज. सो इज इट क्लियर गाइस?
Yes.
Anyone has any doubts? Even if you think it's a silly doubt, a silly question, anything, please feel free to ask, or you can text me. You can text me on WhatsApp or यहाँ पर chat में, anything. But before I move, I need to be sure that you guys are pretty much comfortable with this. Subnet क्या है? Are you guys getting it? What is a subnet? What is a VNet? Subnet is always a part of VNet. Understand that. Subnet cannot go beyond your VNet. For example, okay, don't quote on numbers. For example, if my VNet is 10, This is not how we represent a VNet. I will explain it to you VNet कैसे represent होता है, but this is just for an example. Let's say my VNet is 40, so I could have subnet 1, subnet 2, subnet 3. You guys tell me if this is possible what I'm writing based on what I have explained. Forget the numbers और उसके format वगैरह को सब भूल जाओ. I am saying subnets are part of VNet. VNet एक complete range होगा, उस complete range में से divide करते हैं हम लोग subnet. So what I'm writing here, is it possible? You guys let me know. Or do you think it is incorrect?
पांच ज्यादा चले गए ना?
Yes. So are you guys getting it? यहाँ पर मैंने single digit के numbers ले रखे हैं, इसलिए बहुत easy understand. Now we will be reading this in IP के format में उसको पढ़ेंगे, तब थोड़ा difficult होगा. But before that, I want you to understand the concept that your subnets, they can never go beyond your VNet. So if my VNet is 40, ये 40 में से ही मुझको divide करना है. Is it clear, guys?
Yeah.
And is it
Yes.
possible? The one I've created, the one which I have created now, is it possible?
Yes.
Yes, it is possible. Only thing is that कि मेरे पास कुछ और pending है, maybe future reference में मैं future में कभी subnet 4 में बना सकता हूँ. So it is possible. It is not necessary to use all of them at a time. I could have this VNet 40 or subnet में सिर्फ बनाऊंगा 5 and I will keep those 32 unused, 35 remaining unused. I could do that. Is it clear? Though numbers will not look like this, इसको हम IPs के range में पढ़ने वाले हैं, but the concept, is it clear to you guys?
Yes.
Yes.
So you're meaning available IP addresses under VNet, right?
Yes, you could say that. Under VNet, we will block a set of IP और उस VNet में से हम subnet में फिर एक set block करते रहेंगे. Okay. So let's move and then start with IP address. Okay, इससे हम लोग start करते हैं. If you guys कहीं पर भी ऐसा लगता है आप लोगों को नहीं समझ में आ रहा है, please stop me and ask. We'll repeat that again. Because इसके आगे आप लोग जब when we start creating virtual machines वगैरह और अगर आप लोगों को VNet और subnet नहीं समझ में आएगा ना, तो बहुत सारी चीजें वैसे ही नहीं समझ में आएगी. That why are these two machines are not able to communicate with each other? Maybe कोई ऐसे हम लोगों ने ऐसा subnet ले रखा है, ऐसा कुछ ये कर रखा है, 2 VNet ले रखे हैं जिसमें communicate कर ही नहीं सकते. And then you're troubleshooting on that. An interviewer might give you an example or a scenario that I have one virtual machine A in VNet 1, virtual machine B in VNet 2, and I'm not able to communicate. How would you troubleshoot? तो अब जितना भी हम troubleshoot में सीखने वाले हैं, maybe you guys start with those troubleshooting and later you realize कि यार these are not meant to communicate with each other. So it's very crucial to understand कि ये सब कैसे divide हो रहा है और इसमें से क्या एक दूसरे से communicate कर सकता है क्या नहीं. Okay, so let's start with this. So what we discussed, I will be sharing this notepad with you guys. Organization is equal to VNet, departments are equal to subnet. IPv4 we have been discussing, we will be discussing IPv4 at least 1 decade तक. IPv6 अभी हम लोगों को तो फिलहाल सीखने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी, और जब पड़ जाएगी I'm sure you guys will be working on that, अपने आप ही सीख लोगे. As of now we are just sticking to IPv4. IPv4 कितने बिट का एड्रेस है? We did discuss that. ये सब हम लोगों ने डिस्कस किया है. ये sort of revision हो रहा है. Yes, it is a 32-bit address and 4 octet. Each octet carries 8 bits. So do you guys understand what is an octet? Octet क्या होता है? If pronunciation is not clear, hence I have written this already. It's octet. I'm facing some issues with mouth ulcer and sore throat, so pronunciations, please excuse me with a few incorrect pronunciations. Yes, an octet is 8-bit का जो एक segregation होता है आपके IP का. If I take any IP, एक IP अगर मैं लेता हूँ 192.168.2.5. Who can tell me, by the way, is it a public IP or private and which class? Sorry,
Class C.
Private or public?
Public.
Anyone else?
This is private.
Private.
192.168.
Yes, it is private address, class B.
Okay. Okay.
Those who are not getting it, ये हम लोगों ने पहले कवर किया था, इसको हम लोगों ने व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में शेयर भी किया था. I could do that again, or you guys could watch that video IP classes जहां पर हम लोगों ने डिस्कस किया था. Okay, so this is a class C IP address and it is a private IP address. तो ये इसका एक ऑक्टेट हो गया. Okay, तो ये है एक 8 बिट का. And what exactly do you understand by bit? So अगर एक बिट को मुझको रिप्रेजेंट करना है, so I'll show it to you guys. Before that, let me okay, let's say this example. Suppose ये हम लोगों के पास 4 ऑक्टेट है, A B C D. इसको क्लास से ये मत करना, ठीक है? This is just for an example. I'm not talking about classes here. 4 ऑक्टेट है, ऑक्टेट A, ऑक्टेट B, ऑक्टेट C and D. ये उसका IP एड्रेस है. This is IP एड्रेस वर्जन 4. ठीक है, we'll see कि इसके exactly 8 बिट से मतलब क्या होता है. We'll see that. Before that, two quick more information which we have already discussed, but आज फिर हम लोगों को काफी लगने वाले हैं, इसलिए I'm just revising them. This is types of IP address which we have been discussing. So what kind of IP address we have been discussing? Public IP, which are used over internet, which are routable over internet, and private IPs, which are used within networks. Intranet we call them, and those could be repeated. मतलब एक private range अगर मैं अपने किसी फॉर्म में यूज कर रहा हूँ, so same range दूसरे फॉर्म में यूज हो सकती है. Is it clear, guys? Till here? यहाँ तक clear है? If I say,
Yes.
by the way, what IP range it is, and is it public or private?
That is
A
class
private. A private.
Private. So if I'm using this IP in, guys, we may extend today's class थोड़ा सा cover करने के लिए, and when this finishes in 10 minutes, I will restart the session without any break. Unless you guys want a break, let me know using the same link. Okay, so if I say this is the class A IP address I am using in my company named tsoftinfosolution.com. Can some other company, let's say TCS or some other company, can they use the same IP address in their environment?
No. No.
Yes, guys. Anyone else? Yes, no. Can they not?
This is a public IP, right? So
Right.
it cannot be used.
It cannot be used. Correct. So public IP, because these are being used over internet. And what did I say? Internet अपने आप में एक single network है. So एक IP एक network में वैसे ही duplicate नहीं किया जा सकता. So internet अपने आप में एक network है. This is a public IP. I am using it in my network, though it is in my network, but it is a public IP. इसका मतलब वो public इस पे है, public internet पे है, public network पे है. So if I am using this, no one can use this. Public IP can never be repeated. Is it clear to everyone?
Yes.
Okay. Now the other option is, sorry. Any doubt, Joey?
No. Sorry.
Okay. So the other option I have here is the same IP. I'll take जो नीचे लिख रखा है. This is class C private IP. Now this I'm using for one of my laptops in my house. This could be my actual IP address for my laptop because I'm using the same range class C का. Now can you guys use this? आप में से कोई यूज कर सकता है या कोई और कंपनी सेम IP या सेम रेंज को यूज कर सकता है क्या?
Yes.
Yes. Why? Because this is a private. प्राइवेट का रेंज मेरा एक कंपनी का एक सेग्रीगेटेड होगा, आप लोगों का एक सेग्रीगेटेड होगा. सो आई होप दिस इज क्लियर एज ऑफ नाउ, राइट?
Yes.
ओके, देन वी रेड क्लासेस ए बी एंड सी. उसमें हम लोगों ने प्राइवेट रेंज वगैरह पढ़ा, जिनको भी कंफ्यूजन हो रहा था. आई एम जस्ट राइटिंग इट अगेन. हियर इट इज. प्राइवेट रेंज ये है. कंप्लीट रेंज आई हैव ऑलरेडी शेयर्ड इट इन ग्रुप, वी ऑलरेडी डिस्कस दैट. उसमें से क्लास ए का प्राइवेट रेंज है ये, क्लास बी का प्राइवेट रेंज, इग्नोर दिस साइडर, ये मैं आप लोगों को बाद में, अभी इसको हम लोग डिटेल पढ़ने वाले हैं, बट दिस इज द रेंज. This is your class B's range. So if I say that I have an IP 172.17.1.1, which class it is and is it a public or private IP?
B and it's
Public B. Public B.
It's a public and class
Anyone
B
thinks this is
address.
a private IP? किसी को कोई कंफ्यूजन है कि प्राइवेट हो सकता है? Why is it public? Because private range 16 पे खत्म हो गई है. The moment I type 17 here, तो इसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि ये public range है. Is it clear, guys?
Yes.
Yes. Anyone has any confusion in this? What about this one? 15. Is it public or private?
Private.
It's a private.
And why is it private?
Second octet is 15,
Because
which
it's
is
a
within the range.
restricted.
That is public.
Who says public? Yes, Auntie. Why do you think it's
Because
public?
It's not under the 16th range. Second octet, the whole 16 range of the second octet is private. Rest is public.
Exactly. Correct. Guys, it is not the private range 172.0.0.0 to 172.16.0. This is not your private range. If this would have been the case, then आपका 15 private में होता था. Your private range is only 172.16. So जितना 16 के रेंज में होगा बस वही प्राइवेट है. 16 से आगे चला जाएगा तो भी पब्लिक है, पहले होगा तो भी पब्लिक है. Are you guys getting it? Any confusion? 172.0.0.0 to 172.16.0.0. अगर ये केस होता तब 15 आपका प्राइवेट रेंज में होता, but this is not the case. What is your range? Your range is only 16. 172 से जो 16 के रेंज में होगा ना, that's the only range you have for private. So whether it is 17 or 15, anything other than 16, it will be called public. It will be considered public. इरफान भाई कुछ confusion?
नहीं भाई, clear है.
What about others? Are you guys getting it? Completely blank?
No, it's clear, Sohail.
What about others? Aki bhai, is it clear to you? Juhi, Miranda, Shweta, Vikas,
Suppose if it's
Vishal?
like 170.14, then also it's like public.
Anything other than 16. Anything. Because I have not given you a range. I hope you guys understand कि ये यहाँ पर सिर्फ एक range लिखी है मैंने. Let me open that for you again. Meanwhile, if you guys have any doubt, let me no, I am opening that range to you guys. WhatsApp पे already share की थी हम लोगों ने इसको. So if you see class B, wait, दूसरा वाला image जो है हम लोगों का, I'll share that one with you. That is a bit easier.
In some pictures, it is given कि private में
It is 31 till
172.16 से
31.
लेके हाँ
It is still 31.
तक के हैं.
Second object is still 31. Yes, I'm getting that clear image. Let me download that and I'll share it again. No, looking at this one first. We are discussing looking at this one. Okay. So is it clear, guys? Anything which is given out of this range will be called. If this is the range is given to you, तो इसके अलावा जो भी आएगा, that will be called public. ठीक है? And yes, about that 31 range, I will share a clear picture जहां से आप लोगों को exact range इसका मिल जाएगा कि किस range से we have already shared that. People who missed that, I will share it again for you guys. So for private, it is 10. Sorry, for class A, it is 10. For class B, it is 172.16 से लेके एक range I think 31 तक है ये. We'll share that again. For class C, it is 192 से लेकर 190 to 168. I think this is the only range it has. 168 तक ही है. But whatever it is, we have shared that in image and we will see that again. उसको मैं फिर से share कर लूंगा. But is the concept clear to you guys? ये IPS को आप कैसे ये करोगे? anything which goes beyond that range या उसके पहले आ जाता है, those will be called. So in this case 15 is definitely a public IP. अगर वो 31 तक होता भी है, let's say that this range is, if it is given till, if this is the range, we'll check that कि वो 31 तक है 0.0, that still 15 क्या होगा आप लोगों का, पब्लिक होगा. तो इस केस में जो हम पहले डिस्कस कर रहे थे 17 could be private if this is the range. इस रेंज को हम चेक कर लेंगे एक बार. If this is the range then 17 could be private, but 15 still जो है आपका पब्लिक हो रहा है. Is it clear guys?
Yes.
I hope there is no confusion. And do not worry about it. Numbers को आप लोगों को याद रखने की जरूरत नहीं है. This is just learning phase, इसलिए हम इसको इतने डिटेल में पढ़ रहे हैं. Otherwise ये सब एक बार हो जाएगा. I'll show it to you कि how to use IP calculator, and it will be easier for you guys. So I hope this is clear. We have only 1 minute left for this session. So I will stop and start it again immediately with the same link. And then the moment we come back, we'll start reading CIDR. What is CIDR, and we'll start reading that. Anyone has any questions, please let me know. We have a minute left.
The range is universal. Will
Yes,
be
it
always
is.
same.
It is, yes. It is always same. Be it Azure, be it AWS, be it on-premises, it could be anything. Networking का range, classes वगैरह ये सब कुछ same है. No one can change them as of now. और काफी decades से वो same है. Yes guys, anyone else? कुछ और question है तो कुछ time के लिए? Okay, let me stop this and we'll start immediately with the same link.